All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started. First, I want to thank everyone for coming to the Opportunity Youth Congressional Liaison Program info session. We are extremely excited to be here to talk to you all about the program. We're really excited about the program, and we're really excited that we have this many individuals who have been excited about it. We'll be admitting individuals as they come in. Please feel free to continue to share your name, your city, your state in the program in the chat if you're a part of one. Throughout this presentation, also feel free to add any questions that you have throughout the chat. We have staff members on the call with us who will be either answering those or saving them for the end of the presentation where we can respond to them out loud. That being said, we're going to go ahead and get started. First, we're going to do some quick introductions to your session facilitators. Starting with me, my name is Gerard Blue. I am the Director of Federal Policy and Advocacy with the Forum for Youth Investment, and I'm going to pass it over to my colleague Meredith.
Hi everyone, my name is Meredith Hills. I'm on Gerard's team with the Forum for Youth Investment, working on policy and advocacy, and I'm here in DC today.
And we have Arlo in the background who's going to be doing a lot of our moderating and answering your questions. Arlo, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name's Arlo Andre Alate. I'm a policy analyst with the Forum, and I'm excited. We just see this amount of people over here, and we're excited to talk to you guys about the program.
Perfect. So let's dive into it, you all. What you're going to leave with. One, you're going to be able to understand the program, and then you're going to get some clarity about who Opportunity Youth are, why Opportunity Youth, what's the purpose of working with Opportunity Youth. We're going to talk to you about the purpose of the program, an outline of the program. You're going to understand a little bit more about the Reconnect the Youth campaign in which this program operates under or trains the liaisons under, and then ways for you to get connected to our work and things outside of the Opportunity Youth Congressional Liaison program. So first, I'm going to start with discussing what the Forum for Youth Investment is. So we are a nonprofit organization, and we are focusing on making sure that all young people reach their fullest potential in education, work, and life. At the Forum for Youth Investment, we separate this out into three different buckets. We have our program quality team, which focuses on research evaluation tools, and then we have our systems change team, which looks at cross collaboration at the state level with programmatic and community organizers and state officials and systems. And then you have the policy team in which this program resides under, and we focus on federal, state, and local policy and advocacy that helps to make sure that young people and their families are safe and secure to have the best education, work, life, and possible outcomes. Some of our current work is on this slide. Right now, we've been working very closely with Congress in order to make sure that continuous quality improvement is implemented into federal legislation. So making sure that we talk to Congress about why it is important to have evaluation of programs to make sure that the outcomes are better. So we've successfully launched our federal policy agenda, and have been working very closely with congressional offices in order to make sure that our language is embedded into a lot of policies. Outside of that, we have our Weichert Center, which fits under our program quality aspect, and we provide research-based tools, training, and coaching for the continuous quality improvement that we're doing in the policy unit. We also have our Best Youth Initiative, in which we partner with 5 states, and we help to strengthen their cross collaboration, cross system, and sector work for coordinated pathways with young people. The states that we work in currently are Colorado, Connecticut, Indiana, Maine, and New York. We have our youth program quality improvement plans. These are just some of our tools that help to make sure that data informed improvement process are helpful for youth workforce settings and outcomes. And then we have our research and our learning agenda, developing the next phase of research to deepen our understanding of what drives quality in youth programs and how to scale effective programs across a diverse settings of populations. So that's just a background of what the Forum for Youth Investment overall does outside of this amazing program that you're going to learn about today. So before we dive into this deep session, let's start with the poll. We want to understand how you all are hearing about this program. How did you learn about it? Where did you get the information from? So you should see a poll hop up on your screen and just complete that poll. How familiar you are with the program, and then how did you hear about the Opportunity Youth Congressional Liaison program? So we can see some of the results coming in. We're going to give you guys just a minute to answer this. Okay, some people said I never heard about it before. Well, welcome. Well, welcome. We have a good amount who already started their application. A lot of people heard about us from social media. That's cool. If you could put in the chat if there's a social media channel that you follow, let us know. Put that in the chat and then we'll be able to know about where you heard about it from. Some people said a friend, a peer, the program, past participants. That's cool. It looks like the OYCLs are doing their work. Okay. And then we have some people who heard about the program before. Some people never heard about it. Some people just know the basics. That's cool. All right. So I'm gonna share some of those results where you ought to see where we are. Which is cool. So it seems as if we got about 40 responders. And it sounds like a lot of people found us on social media, and then some of you all have no idea what the program is, but you still are here and apply, which is actually extremely cool. So now we're gonna make sure that you all understand about the program and what we're doing. So I'm gonna pass this over to my colleague Meredith.
Thanks, Gerard. And thanks everyone again for taking the time to join this info session, especially going into the weekend, going into Halloween. You all have a lot going on outside of it just being the weekend. So really happy to be able to talk to you all. I'm going to take a few minutes now to just do an overview really of what this program is, what you could expect from it. And then we'll have some time, as John mentioned, to hear directly from a couple of people who were in this program, and we'll have time for questions too. So hopefully this will just kind of set a good stage of background information. Okay, so what is the OYCL program? The OYCL, Opportunity Youth Congressional Liaison Program, is 3 months part-time paid program, takes place virtually, that will train those involved in skills required to successfully advocate for yourself, for your community, whether it's to Congress, congressional staff, or folks outside of the federal policy landscape. We really want this program to help you all learn how you can take your story, your narrative, and really use that as your base of like sharing information and creating a really powerful environment to push for the things that you and your community really need and want. All of the trainings take place in the evenings with, time zones in consideration and everything like that. So it's something that would happen after traditional school and work hours. The purpose of this program is really these pillars that are up on the screen now. So, one, removing barriers. And we really think of this as like systemic barriers that youth and young adults are facing. We want to change policies and change policies in a way that will really change systems. We focus on meeting young people and their families where they are instead of expecting everyone to meet the systems in the place where those systems are set up. If you didn't hear me say already, systems change is kind of one of the underlying principle that goes throughout all of these elements. Um, we want to support you all in championing community change and lift up local and state efforts. And those kind of feed into this last piece, which is one of our most important pieces of passing the mic. We want to make sure that we're not only speaking on behalf of other communities and other groups, but that we're really giving everyone a platform and a stage to lift up their own work, lift up their own community, and really push for these systems change. Now I want to take a step back and talk about why Opportunity Youth and what Opportunity Youth even means. So when we say Opportunity Youth, we're talking about those ages 14 to 26 who are not in school and are not in the workforce. This is a term that we use because it's what a lot of our other programmatic partners use, what federal policymakers use. I know there are a lot of people here from countries outside of the United States. The term that's mostly used internationally is NEET, not in education, employment, or training, and essentially means the same thing. We focus on using language that is asset based, but also it matches what policymakers are using so that we can make compelling arguments. A lot of times the term like disconnected youth is used because that's what's in policy. And that is not really a fitting term for young people. So that's why we have this shift towards opportunity youth. There are almost 5 million young people who are not in school and not working. So that's 1 in 9 young people. And every single state, every single district has opportunity youth in this. So this is a large community, and it's a community that we really want to elevate and lift up, because the reason for that like disconnection, as we all know, is really because of challenges that have to do with systemic inequities, that has to do with really things outside of the control of the community of opportunity youth themselves. When you're disconnected, it's harder to achieve economic mobility, stable careers, community impact, and other things that we all want for our lives. And reconnecting to education in the workforce is a national issue, it's a local issue. It really comes from all of these policymakers, but mostly these community-based organizations and community member themselves advocating for what is needed. And mostly we just feel that everyone, and especially young people, deserve a seat at the table where these decisions are made and things are not being decided for them without them. So going to now go back to the OYCL program, and we have a video that we're going to show you. You'll see some faces then later in this webinar that will look familiar from the video.
My name is Eliana Nayeli Peña. I am from Long Beach, California, and I'm here in DC with the Opportunity Youth Congressional Liaison program.
My name is Russell Lang. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
My name is Sierra Franklin. I go by Franklin. I'm here from Atlanta, Georgia.
I'm here in DC today to advocate for Opportunity Youth. If you would have told my younger self that I would be on Capitol Hill, I would have told you that you're crazy.
I'm here in DC with the Opportunity Youth Congressional Leadership Fellowship and the Reconnecting Youth campaign. It's because of programs like Reimagine and other workforce development programs that I've sort of been able to get on my own 2 feet. Coming to DC for me means getting to represent a group of opportunity youth in Georgia that don't really have a voice.
I'm here to tell Congressman Robert Garcia and their staff that we need more investment in youth. We need to see our Congress and our government prioritize the young people today, because oftentimes we hear that we're the future, but I believe that we're the present.
It really has been a life-changing experience for me. I'm a social work student at Ohio University Chillicothe, and we touch on advocacy as part of our training, but this was such a more in-depth experience. I learned so much. I learned what advocacy could be. Like, it's not just like big picture advocacy like this. Advocacy happens at all levels. It also has given me the experience of being in DC, getting to leave my small community and like get to advocate on their behalf at this level, because youth often feel in my area they don't have a voice, that they can't make any changes. Well, I'm kind of proof that you can make changes.
When we give young people like myself opportunities to lead, to grow, to learn, our futures are limitless.
All right, so we're about to dive into another poll. Sorry, I was having a hard time finding my mic. And great video. And you can also see that on our YouTube channel. We'll put that within the chat. But this next question is just figuring out, what are you most excited to grow in, and what young leaders value most about opportunities for OYCL? Meredith, can you see the chat? I mean the poll.
Yes.
Okay, do you want to just tell us what you're seeing?
Yeah, so I am seeing a lot of areas of interest. It's really exciting. So, what part of advocacy or policy making are most of you all excited about? And it seems like you all are really excited about building community with other young leaders. That's something that we love about this program as well. Watching young leaders connect, bond with each other, and lift each other up. Also interest in learning how laws get made. Exciting for me as someone who gives a lot of presentations on how laws are made, sharing your story, which is so important, and meetings with members of Congress. And then if we go down to skills, it's also pretty even. There's a lot of interest in all of the areas. So policy knowledge, again, super exciting for me as someone who gives presentations on policy knowledge, leadership skills, storytelling, public speaking. And I think you'll all find too that a lot of those really go hand in hand and kind of up one skill goes into the other and uplifts that one. And once you kind of see what your niche and interest is, we work with you to make sure that you're having opportunities to exercise that.
Sounds good. Just gonna share those results really quickly so you all can see where everyone lands there. If you can see it on the screen, so you have number one, where a lot of people are looking to build that community with young leaders, and then for question number two, just narrowly edging it out is the policy knowledge. So speaking
Yes.
Meredith's language here. All right. I'm going to stop sharing those results and we're going to go into the next phase. So I'm just going to detail some of the specifics about the Opportunity Youth Congressional Liaison program that are very important for you all to know, just top level. So first is that this is a 3-month fellowship program. Even though Opportunity Youth are those who are aged between 16 and 24, we are looking for individuals who are 16 to 26. And we help to equip you all with the skills and tools that you need to directly advocate towards lawmakers. So this program was designed to make sure that you all can have a relationship with your member of Congress, specifically. So learning advocacy efforts, tools, and ways to speak directly with members of Congress. So you'll build advocacy skills to speak directly with your lawmakers. You'll also gain some professional development and leadership skills. This one was really interesting to me because we work directly with the OYCLs to help put together some of these slides. And someone who you will meet a little bit later said, "Oh, you need to add in professional development and leadership, because you also gave that to us." So throughout these programs, you also do learn some of those aspects. You also learn the different forms and types of advocacy. You'll hear later from someone who is going to talk about how there's different ways that you advocate, and sometimes we get narrow-minded in what advocacy looks like. And in this program, you get a broader sense of how you can advocate for and towards something. You also get to connect with peers and shared lived experiences. So this program is designed for individuals who have these lived experiences, who've either been systems involved, who have been an opportunity youth, who was an opportunity youth. And you get to connect with people and hear their stories and share their stories. And sometimes you have relationships and connections with individuals that you may not have thought you would ever have. We have individuals from Ohio who have so much in common from individuals who are in Missouri, and individuals from Texas who really love the stuff that's going on in New York, or someone from New Mexico who's like, I actually do kind of relate to the stuff that y'all got going on in Georgia. It's just so many individuals who really connect with each other throughout this program. And then also you participate in a program that it is designed with and for Opportunity Youth to push more equitable access to opportunities throughout any of the work that we do at the Forum for Youth Investment, and as we create our presentations or these sessions or this program, we do it directly with young people. As great and as young as I look, um, I'm out of that age range. So we want to make sure that we're talking to and having individuals at the table who understand how important it is. to advocate, who can also let us know that this does not look good. We need to change this. This doesn't relate. So we do all this work with and for young people. For those who may have questions about what does the timing look like, how much do I have to put into it, and what are y'all even going to be teaching us? Um, Here you'll see that this is again 3 months. I try to reiterate that this is 3 months. This is also a virtual training, so you do not have to live within the District of Columbia, which is where our organization is headquartered. We work with individuals across the United States, so you do not have to live within the District of Columbia. These are virtual trainings, and they occur every other week ish, depending on what's happening with the climate or what we're planning. Sometimes they're back to back, but for the most part, they should be every other week. And if you are selected to this program, you are required to complete the training related assignments. You get compensated after you complete the assignments. And the trainings, for timing purposes, may last up to 2 hours. So making sure that you plan accordingly. Throughout those trainings, though, you understand advocacy. It's two parts. So we do we do all different forms of advocacy: social media, marching, writing letters, action alerts. You learn all different types of advocacy, what that means. And then we give you a background knowledge about Opportunity Youth, how someone becomes an Opportunity Youth, what issues or systems are impacting them, and why it's important to speak up on behalf of Opportunity Youth. And maybe you realize that you were one and you didn't know. And then we give you a background on government. You get to learn what they're not probably teaching you in schools. We give you government 101, so you get some local, state, and federal information, and we talk to you about how a bill becomes a law and how all of this aspects works. Then we talk to you about social media, communications, and advocacy, so that make sure that you understand how it works. I think we have an amazing. Our last cohort was really amazing at their social media platforming, sharing content, supporting each other, talking about issues that are important to them. So we teach you how to do that. And then we just dive deeper into state and local government. That way, you have the steep knowledge that you need in order to communicate effectively with your member of Congress. If you want to take that relationship past the Opportunity Youth field and you want to bring them into your state, into your localities, and say, look, this is the program I'm a part of, and this is what's really important to me. I'm going to pass it over to Meredith, who's going to talk about how we shape our program.
Thanks. So, Gerard's talked a lot about the policy elements of this program and how that really underscores a lot of the learning that we do, the advocacy that we do. Okay, so where do those policy foundations come from? The forum is one of the leads of a group called the Reconnecting Youth Campaign, the RYC. And this is a coalition, a group of national, state, and local organizations that all are invested in Opportunity Youth and working to scale effective, evidence-based programs that connect young people to education and workforce training. And this is what the OYCL training and advocacy work is grounded in. So I saw some of the programs that you all are involved with. Youth Build, so Youth Build National is one of our partners in the RYC. I think some of you are with AmeriCorps, so the Core Network National Office is part of the RYC, and other organizations that I won't go and name all of them right now. The RYC is focused kind of above anything else on providing federal funding for programs that support OY. So where we get our policy priorities and agenda that will kind of follow with the OYCL trainings come from the Reconnecting Youth Campaign priorities, because it pulls from a lot of perspectives and organizations that work around Opportunity Youth policy. You all might have, policy interests that go beyond what the federal programs and federal funding that the RYC focuses on. And those are things that you can certainly bring up with your representatives and use the advocacy skills that we'll train you in to further. but a lot of the deep dives that we'll do will be on federal funding for OY programs, OY policy that we pull from the Reconnecting Youth campaign. And then just really quickly wanted to plug that the RYC does programming that you all can keep up with outside of the program. So we do some virtual trainings about how to do some advocacy in your district. After the completion of the OYCL program, the participants are invited to attend a lot of, or one of many of the in-person convenings or virtual convenings that different partner organizations within the RYC do. And it's also just a good avenue if you are interested in keeping up with current events in this space. All of the different partners have newsletters and webinars. And definitely those are places that we want to keep you all involved with. So now for the best part. We have two people here who just completed this past summer the OYCL program, Demaya and Eliana. And I'm going to pass to Demaya McCrae first to tell you a little bit about her experience.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So, hi, beautiful people. My name is Demaya McCrae. I'm from West Palm Beach, Florida, and I recently graduated from Texas Southern University, which is located Third Ward, Texas. English major, minor in African American Studies. And so I applied to OYCL because I feel like it aligned with who I am and my goals. And I was reading through and I saw congressional. I was like, oh, it caught my attention. Then I saw advocacy and I said, oh, caught my attention again because I like to consider myself somewhat of an advocate. And so I didn't know like anything about the program, but then an old supervisor of mine, she sent it to me. So like, okay, let me check it out. And my experience was phenomenal. Two of my favorite trainings was the advocacy training as well as the social capital training, which I'll get into a little bit. So the advocacy training was great because I think that advocacy is just like, oh, well, let me run for a Senate position or, let me go lead a protest. But sometimes it's like talking to your professor, like, hey, professor, the class isn't really like vibing with this, like we're not really learning, or even to your supervisor, like, hey, like you don't have to talk to us that way. Like I understand we're college students, like just speaking up inside your community. And then the social capital training was amazing as well because it really ed was great, but social capital is just another word for community building. So everywhere you're going, how are you building community? Are you just going here for the money to put it on your resume, or are you actually trying to get to know people? And why do I think you should apply? Well, if you're a lover of learning, like I consider myself a lover of learning, I would say apply. And if you have a desire to impact people's lives positively, apply. And this program is not just like lecture heavy, like, oh, I gotta get on my Zoom and let me take my notes. But it's like you're actually learning and you're interacting. It was like, we were doing a lot of writing and talking. It was like, oh, time's up already. Oh no, we need some more time. And it's not just like, oh, well, I did this, check it off. Let me find my next program or my next experience. It's like, no, like you stay connected. We're still in a group chat now where we're talking to each other. And then Gerard, Arlo, and Meredith, they're still heavily involved in our lives. They actually care about your voice and what you have to say. They're about amplifying youth voices and making sure that we're advocating. Well, they're doing that within this program. Like they're asking you, okay, what should we do better? Do you like this or do you not like that? Like they actually care. And they're not a selfish organization either. This is not a selfish program. They're not trying to keep us to themselves. Like they share us with other nonprofit organizations because they know like, okay, we have to grow. We have to, we do have to get another job soon. But my experience was great. And if you haven't applied, I definitely encourage you to apply.
Exciting. All right, well, hello everybody. My name is Eliana Naili Peña. I am from Long Beach, so go Beach. I saw someone from Long Beach in the chat. I was a part of the summer 2025 OYCL cohort, and I first heard about the program on Instagram. So I researched it online and I saw that one of my friends was an alumni of the program, and I thought, let me apply. What I really liked about it was how it brought young people together who genuinely cared about creating change. Everyone came from different backgrounds, different states, but we all shared a purpose, and it was to uplift our communities and to share, um, sorry, it was to uplift our communities and speak for youth whose voices often go unheard. So from my time as an OYCL, I gained confidence, public speaking skills, and a better understanding of how policies and advocacy actually works. So the program means a lot to me because it gives me a sense of belonging and reminded me that my story has power. Um, After completing OYCL, I noticed a shift in how I carried myself. I became more intentional about the impact that I wanted to make, and I started to step into leadership roles without hesitation. So I came back from DC and I saw in my city, our Long Beach Youth Advisory Council had opened positions for youth members to join. And I decided to apply and I got my interview and I was able to connect with the interviewer because their title had Opportunity Youth in it. And just a couple weeks ago, I was advocating for Opportunity Youth in DC. So I was able to make that connection and now I'm on the advisory council. So that's a great opportunity that I was able to land after this program. And then also, I landed my fall fellowship with results thanks to the Forum for Youth Investment because after completing the program, they ensure that they do connect us to other opportunities where we can grow and expand. And I think that was also really great. So since then, I continued my advocacy around foster youth rights, higher education access, and housing stability. I also built the courage to reach out to experts on topics that I care about. I'm talking people who I found intimidating, who have decades of experience. And it was because of the Opportunity Youth Congressional Liaison that I had the confidence and the preparation to hold conversations with these people as well as initiate them and say, let's find a time to meet so we can talk about this and I can maybe learn something from you. Um, and then lastly, the leadership team was awesome, but the people who they chose, they were amazing people. And it's so great to remain in contact with them, to see them grow and continue to do the work that they came to DC to do within their states. And I get to see that. So I think it was such a great program overall.
Thank you so much, Eliana and Demaya. I really seriously do appreciate you all. For those who have any questions for Eliana and Demaya, please put those into the chat and we will answer those later. I think I just have a couple of questions if you guys want to do some quick responses. Both of you all had some like amazing times in DC. Demaya and Eliana, what was your favorite part about coming to DC and talking to your members?
Okay, I can go. So I previously interned with my congresswoman. Sadly, I couldn't meet her, but her staff was amazing and they were so receptive to what I was saying. And I actually got a card and I've been talking to, so we kind of have something in the work. It's not like completely finished yet, but I've
Ooh,
been
excuse
talking
me.
to the office here in West Palm, and then we're gonna get an event out there for the youth in West Palm. So that was great. Like I was able to talk to them in DC and then bring that right on over to my home state, my hometown, and to create more change. So that was fun. And it was phenomenal speaking with them. The energy, like they were receptive. They were like writing notes while I was giving them information that was new to them. And they were like, okay, well, wow, we didn't know this. And I was like, okay, like I know a little something, I guess. So that was a great experience on DC on the Capitol.
We have two questions here from Victoria and Rita, and they're both asking you, Eliana and Demaya, about the application process and if they have any tips. You guys have any tips for them?
I think my biggest tip always is to talk about the thing that you're most passionate about, what gets you excited to wake up the next morning, and to just put your all into that. Explain what motivates you, what you care about, and I think as long as you can express that and communicate that to them very well, I think you have a really great chance.
Yes, I agree. I was very passionate in my application. Like, this wasn't something I did in 5 minutes. Like, I took my time, I read over. I feel like I left paragraphs on that application. Okay, I was in there pouring my heart out, my life. I let them know, like, I answered those questions in depth. And then I see Sophie's question, and so I would just say, like, just be yourself, be authentic, be passionate, and like go in depth. Like, be very for real. And what policy areas do you feel like you had a real impact on? So in this program or like in life?
Both and.
Okay, both and. So for me, I can speak for myself, and again, what I've learned with this program, homelessness, I've been working on in that. Well, I guess you say unsheltered. I think that's the better term. Unsheltered youth. I think we've definitely been working on that, like I said, with the Congresswoman's office here in West Palm. That's what I decided to like to begin focusing on. And also, I wrote about education policy within my application for OYCL, and they definitely, again, like I said, they didn't really like, how do I say this? They helped me learn to better research. I'll say that as well. Yeah, that's a lot of questions. I'm trying to read everything.
Oh wait, no, yeah, Arlo will read it out. You don't have to answer
Okay.
all the questions at
I hope
once.
I hope I answered that. But yes, after again, while being in OYCL and after, I definitely like, I don't want to say change. I still have a deep passion for education policy, but I have been working on helping the unsheltered in West Palm as well.
Eliana, did you have any specific policy areas that you feel like you had a real impact on yet?
I haven't seen any policies roll out yet from my congressman, but I did see him post on Instagram about our Long Beach Job Corps and make a reel. So he was putting information out there for the youth and the Job Corps, which is
What
great.
about outside your member? I know you're doing work now
Oh,
with other orgs. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, in the
good
state of
policy impact.
California, we just passed a bill, AB 562 Long Beach, Go Beach. It's our zip code or area code. But it was around ensuring that we do family first findings for foster youth. So ensuring that rather than instant removal, we're trying to find preventative measures to ensure that families are supported to the max capacity before thinking about removing young people from their homes and ensuring that families are supported first. So that's some policies that I work on. I do a lot of foster youth and justice youth work.
The next question we have is from Maria asking, when did you hear back about your applications and begin training? And what was your favorite part to learn about during the trainings?
Only answer the second one. We'll get into
Yeah.
the first part of the question. Whoever wants to take it, what was your favorite part to learn about during the trainings?
Well, I'll just talk about the trainings overall, and then I'll tell you what my favorite trainings were again. I just liked how interactive they were, but my two favorite trainings were the ones about advocacy. For me, it was like a reminder and a refresher that everything I do doesn't have to be like this really big thing. Like I said before, I don't have to run to be the city commissioner to be an advocate. I can use my voice like in the church, in the school, like wherever I am. Maybe I'm in line, like, hey ma'am, you don't have to be rude to the postal lady. She's just trying to do her job. Like, I can advocate wherever I am. And then, like I said, I also like the social capital training where we learned about community building in every space that we're in, not just like when you're not just in social spaces with those like your peers, but hey, befriend the 65-year-old lady who knows about this over here and that over here. She'll teach you how to quilt. And hey, do you also know that her son's over here who can help you over there? Like, just, I don't want to say networking, but community building wherever you go. So those are my favorite trainings, and I feel like I relearned, refreshed, and learned some more.
That's great. For me, I would say I think the data was something that I struggled with kind of, and I feel like the Forum for Youth Investment they did a really great job of teaching us how to combine our stories, our experiences with the data. It's one thing to say we experienced this, but it's another thing to say this many youth in your district experienced this. It really gives like this level of importance, and it shows that we were prepared with the facts. So I think just having that, being backed by data was my favorite part.
And the last question we have right here in the chat is from Alberto, and he asked, Do you ever feel nervous sharing your story, and how did you get past that?
I think I'll start with this one. I actually did get nervous when I went to my visit. I froze up, and in the beginning, my support that was with me kind of stepped in. And fortunately, we had spoke a little bit about my experiences. He kind of helped prep me, and I froze up, and introduced us, had that beginning half of the conversation, and by the end, I was able to kind of jump back in and get in the flow of it. So it definitely does happen. But I think because they provided me with the support, I was able to get back on my feet and then have the conversation.
Yes, I was super duper nervous, but I tried to play it off like I was cool. Y'all, no, I was very nervous. But what helped me was we had sessions before we went to DC, and we got in front of the staffers and the congressmen and women. And so I knew what I was going to say. And then what I did was I presented it to the leadership team, and they were like, okay, this is good. Maybe take that out, tweak this. And I was like, okay, I feel better. I feel more confident. And then I had my notes and the statistics. Like, we really do research, and they also help you, like they give you the links. So like I was prepared. I was like, okay, like I know what I'm talking about. I just have to do it. And it also was helpful that, hey, like these are, number one, these are people just like me, and number two, like this is their job. Like they have to listen to what I'm about to say. Like they listen to people every day, but they have to listen to me. So that definitely helped me get past that as well.
Yes, thank you so much. And if you all have any other questions for Demaya and Eliana, we will answer those at the end. So thank you so much. They're to some of our favorites. So thank you so much for being here, and then we'll answer some more questions at the end. Moving to the next slide. Sorry, I'm removing some spotlights here. I am the main member. Okay. Next one. So let's talk about who should apply, what this program is, why you're here, and probably some of the information you all wanted to know. So first, this program is open to all young leaders. Do not count yourself out. Apply. We're looking for young leaders who are interested, engaged, and want to do advocacy at any level. Um, that said, this program is called the Opportunity Youth Congressional Liaison Program. So we are interested in having current or former Opportunity Youth apply. So those are young people who have been disconnected from school and or work between the ages of 16 and 26. We're also looking for individuals who may have firsthand or lived experience with systems and programs that serve young people. So, any youth employment programs, foster care programs, juvenile or youth justice programs, services for youth who experience homelessness, individuals um, who are in foster care, out of foster care. Um, your stories matter. And we want to make sure, because of the reasons why young people can become disconnected from education and workforce, we want to make sure that we highlight and amplify those stories. So individuals who know, experience, or understand food insecurity, they had the couch serve, they weren't sure where their next meal was coming from or where they're going to stay, or couldn't finish school, or had a hard time applying for jobs. They don't know. They need training services, apprenticeships, scholarships. All of those stories matter when it comes to talking to your members of Congress. So put those stories in there. At the end of the day, everyone is welcome. All backgrounds, all identities. We want to make sure that we help you in removing that barrier so that you can become the advocate that you want to be. And we also do not ask about your immigration status. That said, here are some of the questions that we get regularly. So we want to make sure that we make some of these clear before we dive into the other questions. First, what is the time commitment? You'll spend about 30 hours throughout the time of the program, more or less, depending on the time. But throughout all of it, you'll spend about 30 hours, and that is the 2 hour training that we have. And then you also have an assignment that you do after. So we have about 8 trainings total, one including a fly-in into the District of Columbia. So 8 trainings total. 2 hours per training, and then maybe an hour to 2 hours for your work. About 30 hours overall throughout the 3 months. When and where do the sessions take place? All of this is virtual. We do all of this work virtually in the evenings in Eastern Standard Time. Again, we are headquartered in Washington, D.C. But it does happen after 5 p.m. So we make sure that we work with individuals on the West Coast to assure that you can attend the trainings and be a part of it, like Eliana said. What are the details of the stipends? So overall, we say that you get $3,000, $2,550 for participating in all of the trainings and completing your assignments. You would not get paid unless your assignment is completed, and then you get a $500 bonus, I guess, once you have your meeting with your member of Congress. I think Eliana and Demaya can also say that you actually get a lot more than that. So the $3,000 is pretty much the base that you get for participating and doing the trainings. But throughout the trainings, we have prizes. We provide food because we want to eat in fellowship with each other. We fly you all in. We pay for everything. There's games. You get a lot more than the $3,000, but for the base, the $30,000 is what you are actually just supposed to get from us. And then, is this open to international students or international opportunity youth? Unfortunately, right now, this program is not open to individuals living outside of the United States. If you know funders who would be interested in paying us to work with individuals outside of the United States, please email them and send them our way. Unfortunately, at this time, we can only operate within the United States and work with young people within the United States. That being said, we're going to open it up for questions. This is time for you to put in the chat if you have a question, or if you're brave, which we'll love to see, come off mute and you can ask whatever questions that you have for me, Meredith, Eliana, or Demaya. So let's just give a minute for that. Anyone have any questions for us? Adriana.
Yes, thank you. I was just wondering how many participants you're looking for this upcoming cohort.
That's a great question. We're not sure yet. At a minimum, we've had the number of 14 within mind. But we've had a surplus of applications this year, so we may have to revisit how many individuals we work with. But at a minimum, 14.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Brooklyn.
Hi, I was just wondering, do you think like if you're new to advocacy, that you should apply? Because I just started working like with Georgia Empowerment, which is a youth advocacy program in Georgia. I'm a youth with lived foster experience. So I was just wondering.
I'll have one of the OYCLs answer that question.
Okay, Brooklyn, I heard the last part. Can you repeat that for me one more time? You said, is this for, I'll just let you repeat the question. Let me hush.
I was just wondering if you think it would be like a good opportunity for a youth with lived experience that's like new to advocacy to apply.
Oh, absolutely. I see Eliana.
No,
You.
please go.
Yeah, absolutely. I think whether this is your fifth opportunity or your first, I still think everyone should apply. There's an opportunity for people to share whether they've done this before, or this is their first time, and we all come together and we work off of each other's strengths and areas of growth. So it's not like there's no perfect applicant. Just honestly bring yourself.
Yeah, that was great. I would say same as Maya. I don't think you need to have had worked with other organizations. As long as you have the passion and the will to learn, then you're gonna gain a lot of this experience. And luckily, their trainings are very beginner friendly, and they really do break down a lot of the key concepts. So that is really helpful. It's a great learning opportunity.
Thank you.
Rita?
Yeah, Rita. I was wondering if I was a little confused about the student requirement. Are students allowed to apply, or like do they have to have some sort of experience with being disconnected from work or like school?
Yes, so students can apply. Anyone can apply. We have individuals who are in school currently. And you don't have to be disconnected from work or school. You could have just been systems impacted. The crux of this program is centered around individuals who are going to advocate to the members of Congress about system changes, or aspects within the systems that need to be either revised or looked at, or more funding should be allocated towards. So we want to make sure that we're working with young people who at least have a story to tell. And I feel like all young people do have that. So don't feel discouraged if you are a student. You're like, I didn't experience any of this before. We actually had a young leader who was a member of their state council or their community council, who didn't have much experience in any of the stuff that we were talking about, but now is really excited to still advocate for young people. So you don't have to have the true lived experience.
Okay. And the list of experiences that was mentioned before, our experiences can extend far from that too,
Oh
right? Like
yeah,
they don't
it
have to.
for
Okay.
sure, for sure. It teach me something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll probably learn some new experiences of mine through my application, but thank you
I
so much.
yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Thanks.
Joanne? Oh wait, Yanni? Yane?
Hey, it's pronounced Yane.
Yane. I was almost there. Give me one more try.
No problem, no problem. Um, I just want to first say, thank you all for sharing your insight. It was just very powerful just hearing it, just hearing some of the direct, things that happen from them within this program. Okay, but to my question, so just for clarification, other than being outside of the US, there are no other disqualifiers that would like automatically like disqualify you?
Outside of the US, if you're not 16 or 20 through 26 at the time of the programming, that would be the next disqualifier. Outside of that, no.
Okay, and my last question is how many cohorts, can you be a part of? Is there a certain amount, or as long as you're in the age requirement, you can pretty much stay for as long as you want and as long as they'll have you?
So you'll be in the cohort is by training cycle. So one cohort is 3 months, and then your Opportunity Youth Congressional Liaison right after that. So you'll be working with us continuously after you've done your program. So, for example, we just finished cohort 3, and now we're going into cohort 4. But individuals from cohort 3 were given a presentation by individuals from cohort 2 when they flew in to talk about what it looks like to share your story. So you continue to be a liaison throughout. So we'll continue to give you leadership opportunities, travel opportunities, opportunities to speak, to provide blogs throughout this time. But one cohort is just the training cycle.
Okay, got you. That is amazing. Thank you.
No problem. Sophie.
Hey, what advice would you give? This question is just for everyone, but for people, whether in this program or just in general, looking to get involved in advocacy to like make the most of this opportunity and these kinds of trainings?
I would say know what you're passionate about, identify the key topics that you want to focus on. For me, it's foster youth, juvenile justice youth, housing and security, education and workforce. So these are just some of the topics that I know I have lived experience in, as well as a curiosity to change within the systems. And having just identified my interest in these topics, I now navigate the world talking to people about my interests, and it allows for them to mention, hey, there's this opportunity for this exploration. I know you mentioned the curiosity in it, or following certain pages that focus on that work and then seeing, oh, we're having a fellowship, apply if you're interested. Just knowing what you're interested in and keeping yourself in that network so that if any opportunity ever arises, you're the first one to see it.
Yes, and additionally, community building. Eliana touched on it, like talk to everybody. Someone you may not know may give you your next opportunity, and you would never know that because you're like, oh, well, I'll stay over here, I'll talk to this, or I'll stay to myself, I won't really say nothing. So talk to everybody.
And Gerard, we have some questions in the chat. So I'll read some of those out loud, and thanks, Arlo's already answered some of them in the chat. Okay, so here's one question. Coming from a border community, I know how hard it can be to find paid opportunities without certain documents. How does the program support alumni in staying engaged or finding ways to use what they learned after the fellowship ends?
That's a great question. So border communities, well, one, we do not ask about immigration status when we're looking at any of the applications. So, and we work with young leaders however we need to fit their needs as you become a part of the program. We have had undocumented individuals be a part of our cohorts before. And we understand the fear around applying for programs like this or other aspects. But we work to fit the needs and meet the needs of the young people that we are interested in working with. How does the program support alumni? So right now, we're in the midst of creating a stronger OYCL alumni youth policy program. But for now, what we have done is communicate regularly with the OYCLs about what's happening at the federal landscape. So they get all of the updates on what's happening with the Reconnecting Youth campaign, what's happening with government. And then we also provide them with opportunities that they can get involved in. So they share with us throughout the program what they're interested in, no matter what the sector or system. And we share those opportunities. And then we, as the Forum for Youth Investment, we're invited to speak, to present, and to travel. And I'm not going to go to any conference. I'm not going to go to any webinar or session and talk about this program without one of our young people being a part of it. So we make sure that we ask all of our OYCLs if you have times, dates, are you available? And they know that we will foot the bill and make sure that they can get there. And we open up the opportunities for them to network and to be a part of the program and other opportunities or scholarships that are coming out. Demaya, Eliana, is there something that I'm missing, or you feel like there's other things that you get from us or support you get from us that I didn't share?
I mean, I just can state a real life example of the fact that when I ended the cohort, I got involved, or because of an email that was sent out, I got my fall fellowship with an organization called Results. And I had no idea about them, but it was because of the Forum for Youth Investment, them sharing those opportunities, that I now have another opportunity to explore ending poverty. So they do a really great job of mentioning every opportunity.
Yes, and you gotta check your phone. We in a group chat, and they send us they send us opportunities. I'm like, oh, okay, I can apply to this, I can apply to that. And y'all was like, you know what, y'all need a job. They said, girl, you need a job, we gonna get you a job. So I'm finna get a job. So you just have to, if you have a need, state that need. And like I said, just stay connected because they definitely do their part. And before I mention, again, they share you with other organizations. They have other orgs come on here and we're talking to them, we're getting their emails. And these are other nonprofit orgs that do the same thing. And so it's like, okay, well, that sounds interesting to me. I think I want to go over there. You have the email and the opportunity to do so. So just, you got to pay attention. You got to look for those emails. You got to show up. But they do a great job in supporting you and making sure that, you elevate holistically.
And then just to touch on like the part of the question that, is specifically talking about like documents that someone may or may not have, like depending on the person. And that will not, Gerard said this, but just to reiterate, like that will not affect like you getting paid. If you are part of the program, you get paid. It will not affect, opportunities to speak at other conferences. All of our partners are and have the same type of environment. And we would never, ask someone to go somewhere where they don't feel safe. And chances are we wouldn't be involved with a group anyways, that where that is, the reality. So I, wouldn't expect there to be any different type of post program opportunities. And we always feel like, we're being paid to work, and you should be paid if you're doing the work with us.
Any other questions, Meredith, that you feel like we need to make sure that we highlight?
No, it looks like Arlo and Amanda covered all the questions in the chat, so I think we're set there.
Sounds good. The application is open now for those who haven't seen it yet or haven't been there yet. I'm gonna ask that someone, Arlo, can you put that in the chat so that they can start to apply if they haven't seen the application yet, or the link to the application. Outside of that, I'm going to share our contact information if you were fearful of asking a question, or if you have a question but you're like, I don't know how to phrase it yet, so you need to say it a little bit later. Feel free to contact me or Meredith. We're the primary contacts for this program. And feel free to just email us and ask us your questions or your burning desires with regards to it. Do you require any recommendation letters for the application? No, 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 no. Just be yourself and be you and present you. We do not ask for letters of recommendation from anyone else. Just you. That being said, let's see. Let's open up the next poll as we close out this. So you should see a poll hop up on your screen. You all let us know. Now that you've been here and you've heard us talk, you've heard from these amazing liaisons from two totally separate parts of the United States, their experiences. How do you feel? Do you think that you are going to apply? Maybe you in the middle. You're not sure yet. And then if you're in the middle, you're still not sure. Are you going to send this to someone else? Are you going to make sure that someone else applies and that they um learn about the opportunity? Were you just here to collect information and send it to someone else? So let us know. So looking at some of the poll right now, looks like a lot of you. It looks like we sold them, you guys. 80% said that they were very likely. So it seems good. And then it says, would you recommend this opportunity for? Yes, 16 out of 16. They said yes. How important is it to you to be a part or supporter of the program that centers youth voice? They said very important. That's great. So I'm going to close this so you all can see these results. And we want to thank you so much for your feedback and taking the time to actually engage with us throughout this. Again, our the Forum for Youth Investment is a research and evaluation organization, so it would be unlike us to not make sure that we're gathering your feedback throughout the process. That being said, if you are or aren't a part of the program, one of the best ways to stay involved is through this link. This will take you to our Reconnecting Youth campaign email list, where you'll receive bi-weekly email blasts that discuss what's happening at the federal level. You also get to see blogs, stories, or impact reports from our Opportunity Youth Congressional Liaisons. They talk about what work they're doing. They talk about what they learned while they were at the DC fly-in, and then we also have individuals who are currently going to conferences, so they're writing blogs about what they experienced, what they liked about the conference, what they didn't like, and then we just give you updates or reports on what's happening. So if you follow us, you'll see a snapshot of someone who's doing work. The latest one that we do have, I wish I can put it into the chat, is from Precious Berry, who talked about her work at in her congressional meetings and how it's now related to the work that she's doing now locally in Missouri. So feel free to scan this QR code and to join our email listserv. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, so you should see just the four of us highlighted. And I'm gonna ask in just one word, Demaya and Eliana, if you can explain in one word or explain your feelings or thoughts about the OYCL program in one word, what would it be? I'll start with you, Eliana.
That's a lot of pressure. In one word, it's exceptional.
Blessing. It's a blessing.
What about you, Meredith?
Motivational.
I will use the word inspiring. Throughout this program, we meet some amazing young leaders from across the United States and watch them do exceptional things within the program and then hearing about it after. I'm excited and thank you both for um, showcasing your leadership and letting the young people know why they should be a part of this program. The application ends November 16th. It's not exhausting, it's not daunting. If you do have time, there is a video option for the application. So if you're like, I'm not typing all that mess up, I get you, girl. Feel free to record a video and send that as a part of your application. It also is a good way for us to see who we're going to be working with, and then it makes it easier for us to know, oh, this definitely is a fit or not a fit. I think last cohort we had someone who did it in their bed in a robe. But they submitted a video, so that takes guts. That being said, if you have any questions, you feel free to email me, Gerard, Gerod, at forumfyi.org. And the application link is into the chat. If you're watching this on the replay, feel free to reach out to us and let us know if you have any questions, comments, or if you wanted to respond to the poll and you felt inspired and you wanted to put that in our inbox.